This is the Ask Faleskini podcast, where the modern economy is discussed from a skeptic's perspective. Mr. Faleskini helps you distinguish what is sustainable in our economy and what isn't. Not everything that glitters is gold, and not all mud is dirty. The podcaster Mr. Faleskini provides no-nonsense advice. He had it all, lost it all, went bankrupt multiple times, and is now attempting to come back from zero with sustainable growth. There are numerous coaches and preachers on the internet that preach about positive thinking and how life is all roses if you just care to see it that way. Well, Mr. Faleskini is definitely not one of them. We recommend you ask Faleskini to keep it real. He discusses the darker side of the current economic reality, the side that's more important for your personal and business finance. His first intention is to help you keep what you already have. Not to be a complete party pooper, Mr. Faleskini will also hint at the earning opportunities in the economy today. In order to please the almighty algorithm, please like, share, and subscribe. And now it's time to start taking notes. The mic goes to the podcaster, the one and only Mr. Faleskini.
Welcome to the Ask Faleskini podcast. In this episode, I will go a bit out of my comfort zone, since most episodes of this podcast are about fundamentals in economy and business. This episode is a direct consequence of my neuroscience and behaviorist economic research. During my coaching practice, I've recently discovered that most of my clients are super positive about the future development of their business, but really frustrated with the current state of affairs. I identify this frustration with the current state of affairs as the single biggest obstacle to their success. I explained to my mentors in neuroscience that if I could help my clients remove or overcome these obstacles, I'm certain that they would be successful beyond their wildest dream. One of my mentors proposed the Joe Dispenza video, and then it clicked for me. In this video, Joe Dispenza explains how an event becomes a personality trait. To sum up, an event occurs in someone's life. This person has an emotional reaction. If this emotional state is prolonged, then this becomes a mood. If this mood is prolonged, this mood becomes a temperament. If this temperament is prolonged, it becomes a personality trait. So, if this person considers an event positive, his emotional reaction is a positive emotion. His constant positive emotion over time results in positive mood. His positive mood over time develops in personality trait. However, the same process goes also into other less favorable direction. If this same person considers this same event negative, his emotional reaction is a negative emotion. His constant negative emotion over time results in negative mood. His negative moods over time developed into negative personality traits. So, how do we identify these patterns in business or personal finance? My coaching clients often complain about invoices that don't get paid on time. Let's check first the negative cycle in finance. A typical event is when a big, significant, or important buyer delays payment. This directly influences liquidity in the whole company. This is a huge stress for managers. There are two possible reactions. First one is extremely negative. Management start pushing on a buyer to pay with phone calls, threatening with delayed payment charges, and similar. This reaction then develops into being moody with this buyer. This moodiness then escalates into negative temper towards all buyers. And this becomes a personality trait of managers, and it's often transferred to salesperson. So if this is the case, then it becomes also something that company becomes known for. This inevitably results in a lower sales in the future. Second reaction is positive. It's a friendly reaction. Management organizes additional liquidity with the bank and offer buyers that are in delay discounts for timely or even higher discounts for early payments. Discounts for timely and early payments become a mood or even negotiating tactics in the company. The discount policy is then transferred to other buyers. It becomes part of the temperament of the managers and salespeople. In time, this becomes a management or manager's personal trait and also a positive trait of the whole company. This kind of reaction ultimately results in higher sales. Another event that beats a lot of my clients down is when potential buyers complain that the price of the product is too high. There are two possible reactions. First one is again negative. The seller's emotional reaction is to become insulted, disappointed, or even devastated. Then the seller becomes moody and starts doubting that the product is priced adequately and starts hating clients because they tell him that the price is too high. In time, this results in sellers having a bad temper and often undermining or even insulting potential buyers. In time, this becomes a personal trait of the seller and the company he or she is working for. Long-term results are devastating. Of course, in the same case, also the positive reaction of the seller is possible. The seller understands that he needs to identify different buyers for the product and offer lower price product to existing customers that complain about the price. The seller is in a good mood since it has identified a market for lower price products and has more info on where to sell the existing product. In time, the seller temperament becomes more positive since he or she can benefit from every feedback from buyers. This becomes the seller's personality traits and of course also the company trait. This mindset inevitably results in ever-increasing sales. And then there's an event in personal finance that starts a typical negative cycle. And this event is when person receives an unexpectedly high invoice. There are at least two possible reactions. Let's start with the negative one. Why did the company charge me that? Or why is the amount so high? I didn't expect that. Then you become moody because you were taken for a ride or because your liquidity will suffer. In time, you develop really bad temperament regarding unexpected invoices. And this inevitably becomes your personality trait. Second reaction is, oh, I didn't expect this invoice at all. Or I didn't expect this invoice to be that high. But even if I cannot pay it immediately, I should be able to pay it eventually. So you get into good mood since you're able to pay even unexpected sums of money. You develop a positive temperament because you're confident that you will be able to pay whatever invoices there is to be paid. And this develops into positive personal traits that attracts money. To sum up, your financial success is directly linked to your emotional response to events occurring in your business or personal life. The more you control your emotional response, the more you control your financial success. If you or your company has an issue that you would like to resolve, and you would like me to help identify or even resolve an issue, I've included the link where you can book my time in the description below. And back to Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Faleskini, for this outstanding podcast. And thank you for listening to the Ask Faleskini podcast until the end. Mr. Faleskini would love to hear your feedback in the comments. And don't forget, if you want to know, ask Faleskini or listen to the Ask Faleskini podcast. In order to please the almighty algorithm, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.